Alright, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Scrub here, back again with another video. Hope you guys are having a great day. I know I am. And today we're going to be talking about aliens, because the Pentagon and the Department of Defense have announced that they're going to be focusing resources to try to figure out the source of all these UFOs that have been zipping and zooming around that they've released information about. So I figured we could talk about it just because, I don't know, the topic of aliens and UFOs I personally find fascinating, so without further ado, let's go. US officials say Pentagon committed to understanding UFO origins. Alright, so last year they announced that UFOs are a thing. They played the video of that tic-tac thing flying around at insane speeds. But now they're committing to trying to understand the origins. And I'm glad that they're doing this, because I'll be honest, I would be really upset if they had all the footage of these UFOs, all these unidentified flying objects doing things that are at least impossible in our current understanding of physics, and went, nah, we don't really want to know where this is coming from. Obviously, I hope it's just like a bunch of experimental aircraft from the Air Force or something, but on the off chance it is aliens, I would like the Pentagon to figure that out sooner rather than later. There's one thing I know from alien invasion movies, it's that if you let them get amongst us, we're screwed. I don't want to be in a Men in Black type universe where, like, the guy cooking my food is secretly a cockroach alien. Two senior U.S. defense intelligence officials said on Tuesday the Pentagon is committed to determining the origins of what it calls unidentified aerial phenomena, commonly termed UFOs, but acknowledged many remain beyond the government's ability to explain. The two officials, Ronald Murtry and Scott Bray, appeared before a House of Representatives Intelligence Subcommittee for the first public U.S. congressional hearing on the subject in half a century. It came 11 months after a government report documented more than 140 cases of unidentified aerial phenomena, or UAPs, that U.S. military pilots had observed since 2004. If it is aliens coming to hang out and just vibe in their UFOs, they're going for a joyride or whatever, do you think that they're just, like, messing with us, you know? Oh, yo, dude, guess what? We're on Earth. Wouldn't it be so funny if we went and flew over an aircraft carrier and made them freak out? Yeah, dude, they would really lose their minds. Next thing you know, like, they're flying over aircraft carriers to be seen on purpose. Obviously, they're gonna want to figure out where all these identified flying objects are coming from. I don't feel like the United States is very comfortable with not having space superiority compared to anything else. We get upset if there's like a jet somewhere we don't want it to be. If there's just alien spacecraft breaking the laws of physics, I've got a feeling we're going to want to figure that out. I will say, I know they've probably been working on this behind the scenes for a while. They've probably been investigating UFOs, even though they haven't talked about it publicly for 50 years. So the only thing that makes me kind of nervous is like, well, why are they coming out and talking about it now? Did something happen? Are they planning on telling us about the aliens? Bray, Deputy Director of Naval Intelligence, said the number of UAPs officially cataloged by a newly formed Pentagon task force has grown to 400 cases. Both officials chose their words carefully in describing the task force work, including the question of possible extraterrestrial origins, which Bray said defense and intelligence analysts had not ruled out. He did say we have no material and detected no emanations within the UAP task force that would suggest it is anything non-terrestrial in origin. Oh yeah, this guy's definitely super government. That was the best answer, non-answer of all time. The congressperson, is this thing from another planet? Well, we're not gonna say that it's not from another planet, but we've found nothing so far to suggest it's from another planet. Well, what does that mean, dude? You have no evidence to say it's on and not from here, right? Like, nothing is saying, oh, this is from Mars, but at the same time, you can't confirm it's not from Mars. So what, is it from Venus or something? Like, that was just such a government way to answer that question. Answer it without actually answering. That's a lawyer textbook classic. The 2021 report, a 9-page preliminary assessment by the Office of the Director of the National Intelligence and a Navy-led task force, said 80% of UAP instances it reviewed were recorded on multiple instruments, and both officials pledged that the Pentagon would follow the evidence wherever it leads, and made clear that the primary interest is addressing the possible national security threats. Yeah, anything that makes our Air Force go, huh, we don't know what that is, but it's doing things insanely fast. I definitely want to know what it is, because I know the United States is far and away the biggest and most advanced Air Force. So if someone else has magically developed technology that makes ours looks like the Stone Age, we need to figure out where that's coming from, you know? Obviously, if it is aliens, then like that would really suck, because we're out of control on that one. But if we do end up finding out that, like, England has low-key manufactured UFOs and has just been testing them for the last 20 years, that'd make me feel a little bit better. At least it's an ally. I don't know how I'd feel if Vladimir Putin secretly had a bunch of UFOs. He probably would have used them in Ukraine by now, so at least we can sleep at night knowing that the Russians do not have alien technology. We know that our service members have encountered unidentified aerial phenomena, and because the UAP poses potential flight safety and general security risks, we are committed to a focused effort to determine their origins, said Moultrie, who oversees the latest Pentagon-based UAP investigation team as the U.S. Defense Undersecretary for Intelligence and Security. All right, this isn't really necessarily have anything to do with aliens, but goodness gracious. Can we please get a better system for, like, ranks and whatnot within these departments? This is the deputy, under deputy, deputy, not deputy. All right, so he's like the 5th in command of the Department of Defense of Intelligence, or what? Like, can you just break it down in a way that makes a little bit more sense? I feel like secretly we probably do know where these come from, or at least something about where the possibility of them coming from is. I think obviously when you're doing one of these like public information meetings where you're going to be talking to the public, the government is not going to come out and say everything that they actually know. If anyone is listening to this transcript and is like, well, I bet you that's all the information they have, you're silly. If they knew aliens existed, if they knew that, you know, a UFO was coming in from Argentina, they probably wouldn't tell us anyways. That's the one thing that kind of sucks about this program, is even though they've confirmed UFOs, whatever they find out, we're not gonna know. Our grandkids might get to find out. Some UAP observations remain unexplained due to the paucity of data, Bray said, but added there are a small handful of cases in which we have more data that our analysis simply hasn't been able to fully put together a picture of what happened. While analysts must consider the possibility that an advanced aircraft might use signature management technology to conceal its flight capabilities, they were not aware of any adversary that is capable of flying an aircraft without any discernible means of propulsion, Bray said. Well, that's also a little bit terrifying. All of our labs that we have for security in the United States, the classic $600 billion a year, we got a lot of people researching a lot of things, very, very smart people, smarter than me. If they have data from a lot of these UFOs, but even with the data, it still makes no sense, then what are these things, bro? Just like giant floating tubes of metal? How could something fly without propulsion? It's obviously no technology that we've ever heard of. I mean, like, just literally levitating there? What? Is this some Marvel movie? The core of adamantium. Throw some vibranium around like a nuclear fission core or something? What type of technology can just be floating, vibing without anything propelling it through the sky? Not that I would know, but the fact that even our government doesn't know is kind of freaky, because they're the most smart dudes in the room, usually. We want to know what's out there as much as you want to know what's out there, Moultrie said, acknowledging that he grew up as a science fiction enthusiast. The Navy task force involved in last year's report was replaced in November by a Pentagon unit named the Airborne Object Identification and Management Synchronization Group. Last year's report said UAP sightings probably lack a single explanation, with more data and analysis needed to determine whether they represent some exotic aerial system developed by a secret U.S. government or commercial entity, or by a foreign power such as China or Russia. Atmospheric conditions, airborne clutter, and pilot misinterpretation could also be factors, it said. Bro, our government is so big that the National Department of Security is like, well, it also could be a secret government airplane that we don't know about. If the Department of Security doesn't know about all the airplanes, then, like, what are they actually securing, bro? I guess they don't have to know about everything, but it would be weird if the Department of Defense, the Department of Security, and the Navy did not know what this thing was. None of them have any clue. Is like the Black Ops Delta unit developing some new UFO technology to be able to fly super sneaky beaky like? Goodness gracious, dude. We really are the biggest government on the planet when it comes to this stuff. Yeah, we can't rule out the fact that it could be some super secret new next generation technology that some department's keeping secret from another department. The Air Force is like, listen, we got UFOs, but if we tell them we got UFOs, they're gonna give them to the Navy too, and we don't want that. We want to be the only dudes with the UFOs. The subcommittee's top Republican, Rick Crawford, said he was on board with examining the topic, but was more interested in subjects such as a better understanding of Chinese and Russian hypersonic weapon development. The 2021 report in Tuesday's hearing marked a turnaround for the U.S. government after decades spent deflecting, debunking, and discrediting observations of UFOs and flying saucers dating back to the 40s. There had been no open congressional hearing on the subject since the Air Force terminated an inconclusive UFO program codenamed Project Blue Book in 1969. It is pretty funny that the government really tried so hard to make us all believe that UFOs just didn't exist and anyone who said they had ever seen one was crazy. Like, if you look back at the way they would smear people that said they had seen UFOs and whatnot, it was definitely coming across like the government didn't believe in this at all and none of it existed. And for like 50 years, they kept up that whole, no, UFOs don't exist, you didn't see anything, okay? We don't know what you're talking about. Only now to be like, oh yeah, they definitely do exist and we've seen a bunch of them. I'm not saying people getting abducted are full of the truth. I'm not really too sure. That's definitely a little bit more up in the air. That being said, people have definitely seen UFOs that are legitimate and got told they were crazy for a while. It's just nuts that the government for 50 years was like, no, these UFO things don't exist, just to turn it on a dime. Yeah, they do exist, and we have an entire program trying to figure out where they're coming from. Ha ha ha. If you're some crazy dude who's been like seeing UFOs and everyone said that you were nuts and they didn't exist, and then this news comes out, you probably feel so vindicated. There's some guy with a tinfoil hat on somewhere. And just wait till they confirm the Illuminati. Either way, this stuff is really interesting to me. I don't know what it is. I really have no clue. Hopefully, it's some secret development of our government. But I think in 30 years, when they declassify all the findings of this little group, it'll be interesting to read through. I just felt like sharing it with you guys because I found it fun. Anyways, that's gonna do it for the video, though. If you enjoyed, I would really appreciate you taking a second to press the like button. Let me know what you thought in the comments section down below. And of course, subscribe if you're new and turn on those notifications. I'm trying to go on the double daily upload grind. This is actually a week of double uploads that I'm hitting right now. So there'll be another video later today. But like I said, subscribe, turn on notifications, all that good stuff. And on that note, don't get anyone pregnant. If you do, make sure they're hot. And I'll see you guys next time. I'm out. Peace.